Imagine this. You hold within yourself a power so immense yet so often neglected that it can shape not only your body and mind, but the very way the world perceives and respects you. Think for a moment about this truth. Until you value your semen, no one will value you. It sounds blunt, almost uncomfortable, but sometimes the deepest truths are those we avoid confronting. And in this video, we are going to explore why mastering your energy, your essence, and your self-control is the key to unlocking respect, purpose, and inner strength. Stay with me until the end, because the final revelation is the most powerful of all, one that may change forever the way you see yourself and your life. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to be part of this journey with me. If these reflections resonate with you, make sure to subscribe to this channel, leave a like, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and comment your thoughts below. Together, we will explore wisdom that has been whispered by sages, confirmed by science, and rediscovered by men and women who are walking the path of self-mastery. And I promise you, what you are about to learn can alter the very foundation of how you live. Let us begin by asking a simple but profound question. Why is semen, this vital force within us, so undervalued in today's world? We live in a society that has normalized instant gratification, that celebrates indulgence while neglecting discipline. The very energy that has the capacity to create life itself is treated as something disposable, a momentary release without consequence. But throughout history, philosophers, mystics, and psychologists have pointed to something deeper. They understood that this essence is not just biological, but spiritual and psychological. Sigmund Freud once suggested that sexual energy was at the root of all human motivation, while Carl Jung saw it as a profound symbol of transformation, capable of being redirected into creativity, vision, and self-realization. So let me ask you, if the greatest thinkers of the past saw sexual energy as the foundation of human drive, why do we treat it so lightly? Could it be that the lack of respect we give to this inner power mirrors the lack of respect others reflect back to us? Imagine a man who wastes his energy endlessly, who gives away his vitality without thought or discipline. Do you think such a man will radiate authority, clarity, or presence? Or will he be seen as fragile, distracted, even invisible in the eyes of the world? To value your semen is to value yourself, your time, and your purpose. It is not merely about abstaining from desire, but about mastering it. It is about realizing that your energy is not just physical, but the very fuel for your ambitions, your discipline, and your inner fire. The ancient Taoists spoke of this truth long before modern psychology. They believed that the creative essence in man, when preserved and cultivated, could lead to longevity, wisdom, and spiritual awakening. They saw the loss of this energy as a loss of life force itself. Now think about the men you admire most. Do they seem like men who are constantly controlled by their impulses, or do they carry an aura of discipline, restraint, and focus? True leaders, whether philosophers, warriors, or creators, are those who command respect because they first command themselves. They embody a presence that says, "I do not waste what is sacred," and so others begin to recognize them as sacred too. The modern world may laugh at such ideas, dismissing them as outdated or extreme. But ask yourself honestly, has the path of indulgence, distraction, and waste truly made people stronger, more fulfilled, or more respected? Or has it left many feeling hollow, anxious, and powerless? The truth is, when you learn to respect your inner energy, you radiate something undeniable. Your posture changes, your voice deepens, your mind sharpens. You begin to attract respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. And here lies the beginning of our journey. The realization that semen is not just a biological substance, but a metaphor for all of your potential, your discipline, your essence. To value it is to step into a higher version of yourself, a version that commands recognition. This is why the first key to respect, success, and self-mastery begins with the simple but profound decision to value what you carry within. So I leave you with this question for now. Are you willing to treat your energy, your life force as sacred, or will you continue to let it slip away, unnoticed, unvalued, and disrespected? Think deeply about this, because how you answer will determine not just how others see you, but how you see yourself. And remember, this is just the beginning. In the next part, we will go deeper into how this discipline reshapes your psychology, your emotions, and even the way others respond to your presence. What I will share next may surprise you, and it may be the missing piece you have been searching for. Think for a moment about the concept of discipline. Discipline is not simply about controlling actions, it is about mastering impulses. Every great philosopher, every spiritual leader, and every successful individual throughout history has understood this. Aristotle once said that what separates the wise from the unwise is the ability to govern desires rather than be governed by them. In the same way, when you choose to value your semen, you are making a statement not only to the world, but to your own subconscious. I am not a slave to fleeting pleasures. I am a master of myself. But why does this matter so much? Because your psychology is shaped by the patterns you reinforce every day. Every time you indulge in the easy release of energy without purpose, your mind learns a dangerous lesson. That comfort is more important than growth. That pleasure is more valuable than discipline. On the other hand, every time you choose restraint, you are programming your mind with the opposite message, that your future, your health, your purpose, and your respect matter more than a momentary indulgence. Over time, this rewires your entire psychology. Your self-respect grows, and with it, so does the respect others give you. Carl Jung spoke often about the concept of individuation, the process by which a person becomes whole, integrating the different aspects of the self. He believed that sexual energy was not something to be suppressed or denied, but to be transformed into higher expressions of creativity, purpose, and vision. When a man conserves and channels his energy, he begins to experience this transformation. His mind grows sharper, his emotions stabilize, and his very presence communicates authority. Think about how this works in your own life. Have you ever noticed that after wasting your energy through compulsive habits, you feel weaker, more distracted, even guilty? And yet, when you preserve that energy, when you hold it within yourself, there is a surge of vitality, confidence, and clarity. This is not just an illusion. Science tells us that semen is rich with vital nutrients, hormones, and even life-giving properties. To lose it without care is not only a physical depletion, but a symbolic act of undervaluing what is most sacred within you. And here lies the deeper truth. The way you treat your sexual energy is a mirror of how you treat your entire life. If you throw it away carelessly, chances are you also throw away your time, your focus, your opportunities. If you guard it with respect and wisdom, chances are you do the same with your goals, your relationships, and your future. This is why others sense it, even without words. A man who values himself radiates something invisible, but undeniable. His eyes are clearer, his handshake is firmer, his words carry weight. People listen when he speaks, not because he shouts, but because there is gravity in his presence. This is not magic, it is the natural result of self-mastery. The energy that could have been wasted is instead transmuted into charisma, focus, and inner strength. Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote that the individual who cannot command himself will always remain a servant. And this is the essence of what we are exploring. Until you value your semen, you remain a servant to impulses. But the moment you begin to value it, you step into command. And when you command yourself, the world begins to respond differently. Opportunities open, people treat you with greater seriousness. Relationships deepen, because others can sense that you are grounded, not swayed by every passing urge. Now let us take this further. Beyond psychology and presence, valuing your semen changes the way you relate to your emotions. Think of how often people are overwhelmed by stress, anger, anxiety, or depression. Much of this turmoil is fueled by inner instability, the inability to hold energy, to direct it purposefully. When you practice retention and discipline, you are not simply holding back physically. You are training your nervous system to remain calm under pressure, to hold energy even when life tests you. This resilience spills over into every part of life. You become harder to shake, more composed, more dependable. And here is a powerful question to reflect on. If you cannot command your own body, how can you hope to command your destiny? If you cannot respect what is sacred within you, how can you expect the world to respect you? The truth is, everything begins with this inner alignment. Until you value yourself fully through the way you treat your essence, you will always struggle to find respect outside of yourself. This is not to say the journey is easy. There will be temptations, moments of weakness, times when the world tells you to just indulge like everyone else. But remember, the path of mastery has never been about ease. It has always been about choosing the higher road, the one that leads not to quick gratification, but to lasting strength and respect. And this respect is not only external, but internal. You begin to look at yourself differently. You begin to walk taller, to speak with more certainty, to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, the world begins to trust you. So let me ask you again, what kind of man do you want to be remembered as? One who wasted his potential, his energy, his essence, or one who transformed it into greatness? The choice is always in your hands. In the next part, we will dive even deeper. We will explore how this discipline does not only affect your psychology and emotions, but also your relationships, your creativity, and even your spiritual growth. The third part will reveal how valuing your semen can unlock doors you never imagined, from attraction to purpose, from power to transcendence. And the final revelation, which we will arrive at together, is the most important of all. Consider for a moment how energy shapes relationships. When a man wastes his inner vitality, he unconsciously projects weakness, instability, and neediness. Others may not be able to explain it, but they feel it. His presence lacks weight, his words lack conviction, his emotions swing easily. But when a man values his semen, when he guards and channels his energy, he projects the opposite: stability, self-control, and quiet strength. This is why attraction, whether romantic, social, or professional, is not merely about appearance or status, but about energy. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate wholeness and repelled by those who leak energy without awareness. The ancient yogic tradition spoke of this truth thousands of years ago. They taught that the preservation and transformation of sexual energy could awaken higher states of consciousness, fueling creativity, vision, and spiritual awareness. What modern psychology calls focus and drive, they described as prana, life force, or vital essence. In both cases, the message is the same. When you hold and direct this energy, you rise above the ordinary. You become a man who others look to for guidance, security, and inspiration. Think of the greatest creators, leaders, and innovators throughout history. Do you think their achievements came from a life of indulgence and wasted vitality? Or did they arise because these individuals learned to master themselves and channel their energy into art, philosophy, science, or leadership? Leonardo da Vinci, Nikola Tesla, and many spiritual masters were known for their practices of sexual discipline, believing that their genius and vision were directly linked to the conservation of their life force. Whether or not you adopt their exact methods, the principle remains. When you guard your essence, creativity flows. When you waste it, your inner fire dims. Now let us speak directly about attraction and relationships. A man who is constantly drained is a man who unconsciously seeks validation, who chases approval, who hopes others will fill the void he created within himself. But a man who values his semen radiates differently. He does not need validation because he has already validated himself. He does not chase because he attracts. His presence alone communicates self-respect, and in turn, others respect him. Women sense it, men recognize it, and society responds to it. But this goes beyond attraction in the romantic sense. It extends into all areas of life. Opportunities appear, because people are naturally drawn to those who exude focus and strength. Friendships deepen, because your stability makes you reliable. Leadership roles become natural, because others feel safe placing their trust in you. This is not manipulation, it is resonance. You become a magnet for what you have cultivated within. At this point, you might be wondering, is this path about repression, about denying desire or pretending to be above human impulses? The answer is no. This is not about denying your humanity. It is about mastering it. Carl Jung once explained that repression leads to shadow, but transformation leads to wholeness. The goal is not to suppress your energy, but to transmute it, to take what is raw and primal and direct it into what is purposeful and transcendent. This is why the practice of valuing your semen is not about becoming less human, but about becoming more fully human, more integrated, more alive. And here lies the bridge to spiritual growth. When you stop treating your sexual energy as a disposable commodity and begin to honor it as sacred, you step into an ancient truth, that your body and mind are temples of life. You begin to sense that you are connected to something larger, that your energy is not only for survival but for awakening. Many mystical traditions speak of this. The Taoists called it cultivating the elixir of life. Yogis spoke of raising the kundalini. Christian mystics described it as chastity, leading to divine union. Though their languages differed, they were pointing to the same reality, that sexual energy, when honored and transformed, becomes spiritual energy. Now reflect deeply. What would your life look like if your relationships were marked not by insecurity, but by strength? What if your creativity flowed freely, unhindered by guilt or depletion? What if your spiritual journey was fueled by the very energy you once wasted? Imagine the kind of presence you could bring into the world. Imagine the kind of legacy you could leave. This is why the practice of valuing your semen is not just about personal discipline. It is about transformation on every level: physical, emotional, mental, relational, and spiritual. It is the key to unlocking a life of respect, creativity, attraction, and transcendence. And it is precisely here that we begin to glimpse the deeper promise, that by mastering this inner force, you not only change yourself, but you change the way the world responds to you. Yet even with all this, we have not arrived at the ultimate truth. Everything we have discussed, psychology, attraction, creativity, relationships, and spirituality, leads to something even greater, something that ties all these dimensions together into one final revelation. That is where we are headed next. So as we prepare for the last part of this journey, hold this question in your mind. What if valuing your semen is not only about respect, attraction, or spiritual awakening, but about unlocking your destiny itself? Could it be that this practice is the hidden foundation of living the life you were always meant to live? Stay with me, because in the final part, we will uncover the most powerful truth of all, one that will bring everything we have explored together and show you why this discipline may be the single most important choice of your life. We have walked a long road together. We began by uncovering the truth that until you value your semen, no one will value you. We explored how the discipline of guarding your essence reshapes your psychology, stabilizes your emotions, enhances your relationships, fuels your creativity, and opens doors to spiritual awakening. But now we arrive at the final and most important revelation, the one that ties everything together and reveals the ultimate reason why this discipline matters. The greatest secret is this: valuing your semen is not just about energy, not just about attraction, not even just about spiritual growth. It is about destiny, because when you master your inner force, you align yourself with your higher purpose. You become the author of your life, rather than a victim of unconscious impulses. And only then can you live the life you were truly meant to live. Think about it. Most people drift through existence, driven by cravings, distractions, and the pull of the moment. They wake up years later wondering why they feel empty, why their lives lack direction, why respect seems so hard to come by. But the truth is simple. A man without discipline cannot have purpose, and a man without purpose cannot have destiny. Until you claim mastery over your essence, your life will always feel as though it belongs to forces outside of you. This is why semen retention, or the valuing of sexual energy, is far more than a biological act. It is symbolic of the choice to step out of unconscious living into conscious living. Every time you choose restraint, you affirm that you are not ruled by impulse, but guided by vision. Every time you choose to respect what is sacred within you, you tell the universe that you are ready for greater responsibilities, greater challenges, and greater opportunities. Life begins to trust you, because you have learned to trust yourself. Now reflect deeply. What would your life look like if every ounce of your energy was aligned with your goals, your values, your higher calling? Imagine waking up each morning with clarity, moving through the day with power, and resting at night with peace, knowing that nothing within you is wasted, nothing is scattered, nothing is lost. Imagine living with such intensity and focus that your very existence becomes a message to others. That self-mastery is not only possible, but transformative. History shows us that the men who changed the world were men of discipline. They did not allow their impulses to drain them. They channeled their energy toward vision, creation, and service. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, reminded himself daily that indulgence was weakness, but discipline was strength. Nietzsche declared that he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. And Jung taught us that the path to individuation requires integration, the uniting of the primal and the spiritual within us. All of these thinkers, across different eras and perspectives, point to the same truth, That destiny belongs to those who master themselves. So here is the final revelation. Valuing your semen is ultimately about valuing your life. It is about recognizing that your time, your energy, your essence are sacred gifts, and that wasting them is not only disrespect to yourself, but to the very purpose for which you were born. When you live this way, you step into a flow that feels almost miraculous. You notice synchronicities, opportunities, doors opening that once seemed closed. People begin to treat you differently, not because you demanded respect, but because you embody it. And most importantly, you begin to look at yourself differently. You no longer see yourself as a prisoner of desire, but as a master of destiny. Now let me ask you the most important question of all. Are you willing to live this way? Are you willing to walk the path of discipline to honor your essence, to transform your energy into purpose, and to step into the destiny that awaits you? The answer will define the rest of your life. If you choose this path, you are not only valuing your semen, you are valuing your mind, your body, your spirit, your relationships, your future. You are saying to yourself and to the universe, I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of power. I am worthy of destiny. And from that decision, everything changes. So as we close this journey, remember this truth. Until you value your semen, no one will value you. But once you do, once you honor it, guard it, and channel it, you step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You become a man of power, of purpose, of presence, and that is the man the world has been waiting for. Now is your time. Begin today. Thanks for looking.